Chapter 6. A Father's Decision. Josh and Melanie arrived in the private banquet room so often used by Bithnyhia's royalty. They had traveled almost non-stop from High Pass Castle upon hearing of the news of the kidnappings. Both of them were dirty and weary from their long travel. Lord Theron, Tarlak, and the harem ambassador were waiting for them. Litha, Jankar's mother, was there as well. It was not a happy meeting. Lord Theron was beside himself with sorrow. The children's disappearance had been on his watch. "Has there been any news?" Josh asked Lord Theron. "Very little, Lord Josh," he replied. "We know that Elizabeth and Jankar were kidnapped on Brendan's night. The entire inner castle was poisoned with a sleeping draught. The kidnappers or assassins didn't kill anyone. Other than that, we know little. Of course, we recalled Prince Tren and Prince Jared back here immediately. Parthen is not a good place for them right now." "That's it!" Josh was getting angry. "My daughter has been kidnapped and we know nothing." Melanie tried to calm him down. "It's early yet," she said. "We have heard no demands from the kidnappers." Josh turned toward the wall for a moment to compose himself before turning back to Lord Theron. "I'm sorry, my friend. I was just worried." "That is understandable," Lord Theron told him. "We, of course, sent a royal messenger off to Nitza to recall Lady Zithny, but it will take some time." Josh slapped himself in the head. "When I introduced carrier pigeons, I thought it was a great idea. Unfortunately, we did not have very many. I placed them where I thought they would be most useful. I didn't think of placing one for Nitza. Zithny is going to kill me." Lord Theron couldn't help but chuckle. Zithny's rage was well known. "We did send one of your carrier pigeons to Tilimi Camp. Eujon will know when he gets there. Unfortunately, it'll be some months yet." "If my son dies, we will annihilate the country responsible," Litha spoke up. "Eujon will not be dissuaded." "If Elizabeth dies, I will fight by his side with or without Bithnian forces," Josh assured her. Melanie tried not to glare at Josh. She was still Queen of Bithnyia. "Nobody's dead yet. We are stretched thin with our forces for occupying the haddock, but if we need, Bithnyia will support the harem," she reassured Litha and Tarlak. "Do we know who did this?" Josh asked Lord Theron. "No," Lord Theron said. "We have had no ransom demands. Elizabeth is second in line to the throne. Jankar is the son of the harem of harems, although technically he's not in the line to rule. Anyone could have done this. The Hodak, Korgal, or even the goblins might have done it." "The goblins would have slaughtered the whole castle," Melanie said reflexively. "I doubt it was them." "It has been weeks since the abduction," Lord Theron pointed out. "They are most likely out of the country, and they could be anywhere." "Do you have even one suspect?" Litha asked. "We are disturbed by the Parthen ambassador's departure. He left 2 hours before everyone partook of Brendan's night cake." Josh couldn't help but chuckle. "Last year when Elizabeth ate the cake for the first time, she almost threw up. She thought it tasted like a bad pancake. She never did like them when Zithny or I made them back home." Ambassador Tarlak's eyes seemed to gleam. "She did not like Brendan's cake?" "No," Josh reassured him. "Actually, I think she hated it." "So there's a good chance she didn't actually eat it on Brendan's night?" Tarlak asked. "I'd say that's entirely possible," Josh agreed. Tarlak had contributed little to the conversation. Now he appeared suddenly interested. He thought for a moment before speaking. "This incident is finally making sense to me," he said. "Is it?" Lord Theron himself was perplexed. "How so?" "We have been assuming the kidnappers wanted Elizabeth and Jankar, but that's clearly wrong." "How?" Melanie asked. Like everyone else, she didn't know what Ambassador Tarlak was thinking. "Lord Theron told me Elizabeth's party ground was found on her bed, torn, as if removed in great haste, and yet there was no sign of struggle," he told them. "Her captors didn't make her take it off because she would have fought them, and clearly she fought no one. I've spoken with Elizabeth on many occasions. She is an intelligent, polite girl. Perhaps she was busy serving cake to the other girls. Perhaps Jankar needed to be changed, but I don't believe she ate that cake." Everyone was shocked with this line of reasoning. She was awake and had her wits about her when the kidnappers entered the castle. I believe she heard them, or knew something was wrong, and fled from them with Jankar. "Yes," Lord Theron whispered. "Forgive me for saying this, but although Elizabeth is second from the throne, she is relatively unknown outside of Bithnyia City. She just has not been in Bithnyia long enough." Ambassador Tarlak let this sink in. "Consider that most people living in Bithnyia are white, and Elizabeth is black like we harem. If I were invading this castle looking for the son of the harem, I would assume Elizabeth was a servant or ambassador's daughter, but I wouldn't assume she was a Bithnian princess." "But we still don't know who they are," Lord Theron protested. "We know who they are not," Ambassador Tarlak said. "They were not thinking big enough. Their plan was brilliant. Let's face it, they had free run of this castle." For some time, the Harem of Harems and I have suspected an outside group has been pretending to be harem and causing all the divisions among us, he told the Bithnians. Litha nodded in agreement. We have been assuming they wanted both children, but this is wrong. If I had planned this, I would have killed all of Elizabeth's guests. She had a Romarian princess and other notable people's daughters. I would have killed Elizabeth and kidnapped Jankar. Then I would claim to be a harem rebel group. Melanie could see everyone grasping his ideas. The resulting uproar would have embarrassed Bithnyia and destroyed the Tri-Alliance. The harem would have collapsed into East and West harem and perhaps started a civil war, he told them. There is one problem with this. The harem don't kidnap or kill children. So who are they? Josh asked. They were too limited. They have to be the group Eujon has been trying to discover. The kidnappers are only interested in destroying the harem people, he said finally. You're absolutely certain the Parthen ambassador left Bithnyia City before Brendan's night? He asked Lord Theron. Yes, the gate guards confirmed this, Lord Theron said. So it's probable he didn't see whom the kidnappers took, Ambassador Tarlok asked. Yes, Lord Theron said. He left and went directly to Port Low, where we assume he boarded a ship for Parthen. Good. I don't think the kidnappers know who Elizabeth is, he told them. Elizabeth is a smart and resourceful girl. If they find out who she is, they might kill her, Josh spoke up. Most likely, Ambassador Tarlok agreed. Why bring her at all? Josh asked. Ambassador Tarlok actually laughed. I'm a father myself, he said. It's been my experience that men like these kidnappers are usually of the rough sort. For all their admittedly perfect planning, I doubt they know much about babies. I think they see Elizabeth as a perfect babysitter. Then when her usefulness ends, or when they discover who she is, they'll probably kill her? Melanie asked. That would be my assessment, yes. We must stop spreading the news of Elizabeth's kidnapping then, Josh said. We can't stop it completely, but we can slow its spread. We must do everything we can to ensure she is not discovered. I will order it done, Melanie told him. I will also order a secret watch placed on the Parthen ambassador. Maybe he can lead us to Elizabeth and Jankar. What about Lady Zithny? Lord Theron asked. It might be useful to have her stay in Nitza and coordinate efforts there. I thought about that, Josh told him, but she'll have to face whatever happens with me here. Besides, Elizabeth could be halfway to Korgal by now. Josh turned to Litha and Ambassador Tarlok. No matter what happens, I promise to you that I will kill the Parthen ambassador. He's a dead man.